I am pulled in both directions equally strong. I have my duty to my family, Robin, Kody, Mary. I have a duty there. But then I really want to be with Christine and her kids at the holidays. Can't choose a side without them saying you chose a side.
I don't think Janelle or I are being honest or realistic in this relationship as we communicate with each other about this stuff.
It's Kody Brown Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day. It's Monday, November 21st, 2022. Do you ever get the feels when you're watching The Sister Wives and you see a relationship come to full circle and you get emotional watching this all play out in front of you? And it's about two friends that were once adversaries competing or competitors competing for the same man. And you realize they have created this unique bond that will forever enmesh the two of them and make them best friends. And you watch that and you cry. Was that you? And were you crying when Christine and Janelle were crying? Like, I'm not crying, you're crying, I'm not crying, you're crying kind of thing? Yeah, that was me. So this video is going to be about how Janelle and Christine sit down to sort of talk about next moving forward for Christine, and Janelle and Kody's relationship and where he has their relationship marked, which is probably in the same place he has marked with Christine, because Janelle refuses to not take his side. So let's dive into this topic of Janelle and Christine sit down to have a conversation, and Kody and Janelle argue about the RV and moving forward in their marriage. Before we get into it, can you do me a big favor and give this video a thumbs up? Also, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. We are so excited that 288,000 of you are actually subscribed. The goal is to get to 300,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Can we do it? Please consider. Also, make sure to leave a comment if you have something to say. Click the bell so you get notified of anything that comes on, and give the video a thumbs up. So let's start here. Christine and Janelle get together to sort of talk about and tie up the loose ends before Christine moves to go to Utah. And when they sit down, one of the first topics they actually address has to do with Kody and the hostility that he actually expressed towards Christine when they all sat down as a group only a week or two before. And Christine actually said that they both actually said that Kody's response and his reaction was shocking. Janelle was surprised to see him react in the way that he did. She said that he has been at a level of anger and emotion that has just been so to the boiling point. She doesn't think that he's dealing with his emotions. She sort of described the situation as him, just releasing all of that anger. But Christine kind of described it more as like she expected to hurt people. She expected that people would have hurt feelings, but she didn't expect the volatility that she received and got from Kody. It was a jarring conversation because it was evident that Janelle was not on board with the way that Kody behaved, but she fell short of calling what he did volatile.
Maybe it's okay because everybody needs to express their emotions.
And then he lost it. So I was so shocked at his aggression. And I was expecting people to be hurt. I was expecting it. I didn't know that he'd be volatile and
known how to express it. And unfortunately, I think it all sort of came out like, it surprised me because he was so loud and he was so angry.
Janelle was surprised. She couldn't understand that he was so angry. Christine said that he was aggressive and volatile. I feel like Janelle, because she's still with Kody, is giving him a lot of passes. And I don't believe this is the first time he's acted this way. I don't think it's the first time he'll ever act this way. I think this is how he acts. I don't know. I think they're just good at excusing it. Like he doesn't know how to handle his emotions. The man is 54 years old. He's not a toddler that can't regulate his feelings. He's not a teenager that doesn't have a developed frontal cortex. He's a 54-year-old man that should know how to control his rage, but he didn't. And that's not an excuse. I mean, sometimes we yell, but verbal abuse in front of the whole nation it's not just like surprising, it's disturbing. But that's just my opinion. After they had that conversation, she quickly like switched the tune to like Robin, and how Robin seemed to take Christine saying that she wanted space as a rejection of both her and her kids. And Christine felt terrible about that. She didn't realize that when Robin was asking her that it was about her and her kids. And she didn't mean it that way. Like, she wasn't trying to cut them totally off. She just needed space. And it wasn't about the kids. It was about Robin. And she said that after the fact, she realized she could have changed what she said there. Obviously, you know, Robin made herself the victim in that situation. The next part of the conversation is incredibly awkward, and it's very clear that they're having to have this conversation for the cameras. But, you know, Janelle and her are talking about what this means for like their relationship. And Janelle is like very clear that, you know, they've always had this common bond of being sister wives, and now that's changing. So what does it become? The core of their relationship had always been around Kody. So now does it change to like the shared experience? Does it change to like the kids and our lives and like moving forward? And Christina's just like flat out like, I think it's deeper than that. Like, I think you're like my best friend. And I was like, oh.
Kids? I think that it's even more than that. I think it's deeper than that for you and I. I would consider you one of my best friends. I don't know what label to put on mine and Janelle's relationship. I don't know.
You know, Janelle didn't necessarily respond and say like, yes, you're my best friend too, because I think Janelle has to play it very even. But it's clear that Janelle is struggling with Christine leaving. And I think she's struggling with the idea of like, what does this mean because you're leaving? Because I don't think she wants to give up Christine. And I think the others are going to give up Christine, and she feels like she has to make a choice. But Christine flat out tells her like she does not have to make a choice. She's very clear about that and doesn't think that anyone should have to make a choice. You know, Mary doesn't think they're sister wives, which is fine. And Christine doesn't know necessarily how to define their relationship, but she doesn't see it like ending, and she doesn't want anyone to pick sides at all, which is very
Now Janelle and Christine have a better relationship. I'm begging Janelle for a closer relationship. It feels like she's rejecting that and just choosing to have one with Christine.
I am pulled in both directions, so, I mean, equally strong. I have my duty to my family. You know, Robin, Kody, Mary, I have a duty there. But then I really want to be with Christine and her kids at the holidays.
Have you ever noticed that like Kody is the victim in everything? Like literally always the victim. Like Janelle's trying to be very neutral. She doesn't want to take Kody's side. She doesn't want to take Christine's side. And I think she's in a very difficult position because Kody is such a narcissist that he's going to think that anything that she does is a rejection of him. And he sits there and goes, I'm begging her for a closer relationship. And I'm thinking, when? When are you begging her for a closer relationship? Like, when? When you're yelling at her about the RV, when you're yelling at her about Garrison and Gabriel, like, when are you yelling at her for a closer relationship at all, except for just yelling at her? And she won't bend to your demands, so then it creates this like mess. And Janelle's just, you know, doesn't know what she's gonna do. She just wants to be in the middle. And Christine, for her part, doesn't want her to pick a side, either side. It's gonna be a challenge either way. And I think Christine will respect it. I don't know if Kody will. After they talk about all of that, they talk about Truly and how Kody said he was going to take Truly all the time, but Truly only ends up going over there for like a couple hours on the weekend, and she's never stayed the night. And she doesn't think that she'll want to spend the summers down in Flagstaff because she's never spent a night away from her mother. And she, you know, and Kody's like, there's going to come a time when I'm going to have to travel for her because Christine might not ever come down to Flagstaff. And, you know, he's trying to like blame Christine for the relationship that he has with Truly. But the facts are is he missed out on the years with Truly, and he has no one to blame but himself. So that's all said and done. And after that, we go over to the RV right? So Kody's being rejected by Christine, right? Or by Janelle. That's his story. I'm being rejected. So he's going to now use that as a means to say that this RV is the reason why their marriage is struggling and why their marriage is breaking down. It's because they don't have a stable place for their family. And they argue about leveling the RV, and they argue about why she needed the RV, and it's kind of ugly, to be honest.
We're arguing point with this. It's like just this antagonistic relationship. It is not cooperative. I don't think Janelle or I are being honest or realistic in this relationship as we communicate with each other about this stuff.
Kody, and her are trying to level this thing that's supposed to self-level, by the way. And he's getting so mad at this, and she's recognizing that what he's doing isn't working, so she makes a suggestion to try to move it forward instead of doing what he's doing. And he doesn't like anyone disagreeing with him. Like, Kody acts like any level of disagreement with him is antagonistic. And I feel like Janelle's just sort of at this place where she just doesn't care and she's done with his foolery. He also admits that, like, all of this is he's crossing lines. He admits to crossing lines with her. He admits to pushing her. And he admits that it's because he's unraveling plural marriage and because Christine left him. So he's taking things out on her for Christine. And then he's mad that she bought this RV without talking to him because it's a large purchase. And then he's mad that she didn't go look at rentals because why did she need to be out there to begin with? And he's just like mad at literally every single decision she's made. And that because she's not consulting him about what she wants to do, that's antagonistic. To me, it just seems like Janelle's 1 foot out the door, honestly, and doesn't care. But her response is, if I would leave things up to Kody, they would never happen because he's never around. He's not in tune. I told him I wanted this RV. I told him that I was going to look at getting an RV. He just didn't listen to me. I think, like, he thinks he's more involved than he is, and I think they have a lot more time alone than he does to recognize that they don't get the time they don't get time with him. They don't get time with him. And then when he's there, he's not there. He's like got 37 different thoughts going on in his head. But he blames them for everything. He never takes responsibility for anything. And again, like, why is it antagonistic for her to like make some simple suggestions? It's just really uncomfortable. And it's, you know, I don't know, like, making a purchase that big is a pretty big deal if you don't tell your spouse. But she says they had conversations about it. But then they start fighting about how she wants to go back into town. And then he's like, but now we're out here. Like, Kody doesn't even know what he wants.
So she's talking about going to an apartment. She's going to pick a place. She's going to do it without me. She's going to figure something out like that. Like, she's already got a place that she knows about.
Well, I mean, I basically decided what I needed to do for me. And I just sort of decided and I did it, and he sort of had to be along for the ride. But if I would have waited for him to solve the problem, it never would have gotten solved.
He's mad about her now wanting to move in because then he's like, well, why did we get the RV to begin with? And now she wants to get a rental, but he's mad about that. And her argument is, I had to do this for me, and he had to be along for the ride. And if I would have waited for him, nothing would have come of it. And I started to think about his neighbor, who it took him 2 years to do the cistern. Kody just doesn't like to finish projects. And I think that's a way to control people. Like, he doesn't finish things to control the situation, or he doesn't have the money, the resources, or the time, or the effort, or the care, or the concern, or he's distracted. There's a reason why he's not doing what he does. But if anything, this whole scenario with the RV and this whole argument about this property and this whole argument about the build and the whole decision of like lashing out at her because of Christine leaving tells me that his relationship with her is only going to get more and more sour. And next week, they argue about buying Christine's house because the offer falls through and she doesn't want to buy the house. And they're like literally yelling at each other. And we're going to see in other episodes where they start arguing about them not partnering well. And she tells him to F off and walks away. There's rumors that she's left and that she was forced to leave. And there's rumors that she doesn't, she's not left. There's so many different rumors, but I will say this, like, one woman leaving isn't an excuse to like hurt the other, but he's going to hurt her because because Janelle's friends with Christine, and two, because she makes decisions without consulting him. But Janelle, for her part, is neglected by him. He has no interest in her. Even though she has a minor child at home, Savannah, during this period, he doesn't care about her. And he blames her for not having a space for them to nurture their relationship. He blames her for not doing what they need to have a good relationship. It's always her fault. He blamed Christine. He blamed Mary. Maybe these women just wake up and realize, I want more, and I'm going to do what I want. And Janelle, I hope, will continue to move forward and realize she's worth more, because she's now the scapegoat, if anything, here. So she won't disparage Kody to Christine, but she agrees he's angry and it shocked her. But she also agrees that he doesn't care or put the time and effort to solve her problems. I think she's loyal to the wrong person. And if I were to pick a side, I'd pick Christine's. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.